Hey everybody, welcome to Hockey Skate Down. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to join our hockey team, please click subscribe, hit the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much, and let's get started. I want to do a video on this because I saw a very interesting news about Travis Zajac today. And let me just read exactly what was said. Zajac was told of a proposed trade and was unwilling to waive his no-trade clause. His agent said, "We'll see about the future after the season." He has one more year left at 5.75. Elliot Friedman said that he would bet his mortgage, which means that he's pretty much well aware that it was the Islanders. And Zajac told Cangelosi, "I've thought about the situation a lot, and New Jersey is where I want to be." So he wants to stick around for the year and see what happens. So I guess he's off the trade block with us for now. A lot of people thought he might be moved this year. I thought so too, but then I thought, it's kind of hard to move him and his $5.75 million contract for next year as well. But I had a feeling the Devils can possibly bite that salary to get a better return. So Zajac has been coveted by a lot of teams, I've heard. And, he's a great player. He's a great two-way forward, very defensive-minded, and can chip in offensively here and there, but a lot of teams need that defense going into the playoffs, so that's why they were looking at him as an option. And I like this as far as Zajac. He's been with us for a very long time. He's a heart and soul Devil, and maybe this will stem down the lineup and have all the younger kids saying, look, Zajac wants to stick around. We're not probably going to go anywhere this year, but he wants to stay a Devil. He likes it here. So, maybe that bodes well for the rest of the young kids in the future when their contracts are in question. And the other news I wanted to get to, I was watching NHL Network the other day, and E.J. Radick mentioned, I haven't heard this, I didn't hear about rumors or anything, but apparently the Islanders made a proposed trade for Andy Green last year, that they wanted him, because Lamoriello, was with the Devils for a very long time as our GM, and he's familiar with Green's play, so yeah, that struck me. That was very interesting, and I'm kind of curious as to why nothing developed out of that. I guess maybe Shiro saw that we didn't have a lot of players that can fill Green's role, and maybe he thought we were going to really push for the playoffs this year, so it's better off to keep him around. But now that we may not make the playoffs and Andy Green's UFA at year's end, can it be a possibility that Lamoriello talks with Fitzgerald about possibly getting him into an Islanders uniform before the trade deadline? It's very interesting. And if I were the Islanders, I still think you're a good top six forward and a depth defenseman away, especially that Pelech is out for the year. So can they look at Andy Green as a good possibility? Andy Green is a good defenseman. He's very capable. He doesn't chip in that much offensively, but he can. And he plays against top competition. He plays top minutes, even at his age now. So I think he would work out well for the Islanders. Now, the question is, what would his return be? I don't necessarily know. I mean, he's older. He's a UFA, so they're not going to give up that much for him. If you're thinking of a pick, can you get a third-round pick? Can you get a fourth-round pick? A fourth-round pick and a prospect? But, we'll talk about the prospects later because the Islanders are loaded with them. So the Islanders now have around $5.9 million, and this is the year for the Islanders to really do something. I say this every year. I have a lot of family members that are Islander fans, and I always tell them, I have a feeling the Islanders are a big trade away from really making noise in the playoffs. And I really think this is going to happen this year. I really do with this team. They have a lot of their core players locked up to these long-term deals, which means a lot of their prospects probably won't get into their team unless something happens, like an injury or something. They have all of their picks from rounds 1 through 7. They have all of them. So this is the time for the Islanders to make a big play. They saw what they've done in the playoffs last year by sweeping the Penguins. So maybe they need that extra player or two to get over the hump. And, when some of their players go cold, the new players stick up. And once they all gel well together, it'd be interesting to see. So they have, Lee locked up for 7 years, Nelson for 6, Eberle for 5, Bailey for 5, Komarov for 3, Del Cole for another 2, Bolivier for 2, Boychuk for 3, Leddy for 3, Mayfield for 4, Dobson for 4, and Varlamov for, I think, another 4. So you got a good core of your team locked up long term. And then you're going to need new deals to be worked for Barzal, Pulak, and Taves as their RFA contracts are nearing an end. So they're going to really have to allocate money to those those three players because they're going to demand a pretty hefty amount, especially Barzell. They have cap space now since Pellick is out for the season, and Clutterbuck it says indefinitely out on his injury report because of his wrist. So we'll see how long that's going to take to come back. And as we're talking about the prospects, I'll go over the top 7. You know, Noah Dobson's leading it on D. You have Ilya Sorokin, which is a goaltender, and that's the whole thing that's going to happen in this offseason. I really don't think they're going to re-sign Grice as he's a UFA. I think Sorokin's going to take the mantle. He had a killer year in the KHL, and his KHL deal ends this year, so you're going to see a good tandem for the next couple of years of Varlamov and Sorokin. So it's cool that you have 2 Russian goaltenders, you know, how they can translate good to each other and learn. Sorokin can learn from Varlamov. So you have a good tandem there going forward. So, you know, it'd be interesting what the Islanders can do with their goaltending going further. They have Oliver Wahlstrom, right winger, Kiefer Bellows, left wing, Bodie Wild on D. And I'm surprised that year when he dropped to the second round. Islanders got a good pick out of that guy. Simon Holmstrom is a right wing, and Sebastian Aho, who's defensive. You've seen him up and down in the lineup the past couple of years. So if I'm thinking of prospects that can get moved, you know, you still have, I don't consider Ho-Sang a prospect, but I can see him thrown into a trade. You know, he's been honestly a headache for the Islanders organization, and they haven't met eye to eye as he has so much talent, but he can't mix team play with his talent. So I could see him getting moved in a package deal this year with a pick or something. So you have another goaltender in your system, Linus Soderstrom. You have a center, Ruslan Ishakov, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And then there's another center, Otto Koivula. So if I'm seeing any prospects that are going to get moved, I could see those 3. I think the Islanders will try to hold on to their top 7 or 8 prospects as they're really, really good. And you know, we'll see what happens, but this is the year for the Islanders to do something. I really think Lamoriello is going to make some key trades to bolster this team. You know, you haven't heard a lot of rumors with the Islanders. If I'm kind of guessing on players that they're going to get, I could see them not swinging for the fences and getting, like, a big name. I could see them getting a decent scorer who fits well on their team that could fit well on the Islanders. You know, kind of add that scoring touch, but also has that two-way game that Trotz loves. I could see Peugeot from Ottawa really being a fit on this team. You know, if the Florida, I don't see Hoffman. I heard his name being mentioned here, but I kind of see Florida really making a case for the playoffs because they're playing well as of late. You know, Hoffman's name's been thrown around, but I don't think he's necessarily a fit for the Islanders. If Montreal's out, you know, you could look at Tatar or Kovalchuk as he's been playing well with them, and, you know, has familiarity with Lou. You know, it'd be fun to see Barzell and Kovalchuk. Really would. But, you know, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of big UFA names. I haven't really heard too much trade rumors. You know, I wanted to do a video on this because I heard about the whole Zajac thing. I heard about the Green thing the other day. So I kind of want to do a Devils and Islanders video together. And I really hope the Islanders make a big play this year. You know, if my Devils aren't making the playoffs, I'll root for the Islanders. You know, I have a lot of family and friends that love the Islanders, so, you know, I'll do it for them. But I really think this is the year. I really thought they were going to go hard on Taylor Hall. It would have been fun to see him and Barzell playing on the same line, but, you know, the Devils were asking a lot to get him. But, you know, this is the time. They have 2 good goalies in their system that are a 1A, 1B. They have good defense, and not big flashy names on D. But they have D that can get the job done under Trotz's system. And you have depth down the lineup with all your forwards. So if you can add a piece this year, Islanders, I really think you can go pretty far into the playoffs. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Join our hockey team. And comment below. Let me know what you think. Who would you like to see the Islanders go after before the trade deadline? Or if, you know, if you want to see a player go out or whatever. Let me know. Comment below. Thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of the night and take care.